Hey, my name is Liz and I sell on Poshmark eBay and Mercari. Today I have a shipping video from my weekend sales. I believe it is 17 packages that we will be packing up, and this is from Saturday afternoon through Monday morning. I shipped on Saturday and I think that was like 8 packages. So sales have definitely been doing well this week. So I will be using poly mailers. We can't use priority shipping on Poshmark anymore, which I am fine with. I have always used poly mailers. I think they're fun. I do miss the boxes that we could use. I have not ordered any of the ground shipping supplies yet, but I'm going to try and get at least some kind of bigger box that I can fit like shoes. But I have Poshmark sales, eBay sales, 1 Mercari, and 1 Depop. So across all my platforms, which is always nice to see. So yeah, let's jump in. I keep in my inventory everything in a Ziploc bag, and then that is inside of a lettered bin in my storage room. I don't ship in the Ziploc bags. I find it to be extra plastic. I've had one issue across over 6,000 sales of something getting ruined in the mail, so it's such a small percentage. I got into reselling partially as the sustainability aspect of it, so I don't want to put double the amount of plastic out there. Every once in a while I do use it if I have something that's very fragile, like fabric wise, or something highly expensive. I will take a little extra care in wrapping it, but I don't think I really have any of that today. First up, we have this linen top, and this is from Reformation. Great brand if you are not familiar with it, and most of the time the size tag is with the materials tag, so if you don't see it up here, don't be afraid to pick it up. Definitely check there. This sold for $45. I got this at the bins, so my profit after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods is just $35, which I think is great for a shirt. This is headed to California, which is probably one of my top ship to locations. If I had to guess, it would be California, Florida, and New York. I kind of pay attention to that just because it interests me. And I am in New Jersey, so I do find some pretty trendy pieces. I'm just outside of New York City. So I definitely am finding good brands, in style, trendy pieces that people in these main places are looking for. Next up is a Lily Pulitzer top. This is a Elsa top, and this was mine. So when something was mine from my own closet, I'm definitely happy to take a lower price on it because I wore it, I got some use out of it, etc. This one they are some of my favorite tops. They're the silk blouses, especially when I was working in an office pre-COVID. I wore them all the time. So this one sold for $40. I made $32 after Poshmark fees, and I have no cost of goods in it because it was my own. And this is heading to Florida, which so much of the Lily I sell ends up there. This piece has been listed for a very long time, so I was thrilled to see this go. It's actually new with tags from the brand Foxy Doxy, I think. Foxy Dox. It's a midi length dress with like they're not even really off the shoulder. They're essentially like disconnected style sleeves. This brand I thought was halfway decent, but after this sold, and this is definitely the first offer I've ever received on this piece, so I took it. I went and just looked at comps just to see like if I was far off on this or if it sold for pretty much what it should. And the comps were right around the $20 to $25 price point, even for new with tags. So I'm fine with the $24. This is probably not a brand I would really pick up again. I mean, maybe if I saw it at the bins, but this sold for $24, like I said. I make $19.20 after the Poshmark fees, but luckily I only paid $3 for this, so it must have been on like 75% off clearance at my thrift store. So I do make $16.20 from this, which isn't too bad. But yeah, it's probably not really a piece I would grab again. That's heading to Texas. This, however, was a great sale. This is a bathing suit top, only found the top, but it has push-up in it that it honestly, it's got to be like silicone. It feels like implanty material. So this sold for full price of $40, again, just for this little bathing suit top. So I make $32 after Poshmark fees. It's been less than 3 weeks since I bought it, and I get about $30 after Poshmark fees. And that is heading to Colorado, which is not where I would have guessed that was heading. But I am going to just stick a little bubble wrap around that, since those pads are such an interesting material. I want to make sure they are safe. So I will do that after I finish, because I didn't bring any bubble wrap over here with me. Then this was another really quick sale. This is a top from Abercrombie. It sits off the shoulder. It was very popular. I think it got like 14 likes on Poshmark. I only had it listed for 16, and I got an offer for 13, so definitely took that. Tops like that from Abercrombie aren't high profit sales, but they're usually, when I find a nice trendy one, a pretty quick sale. So I picked that up 5 days ago, and it sold, I think, on Saturday, so it was only listed for like 3 or 4 days, and that is heading to Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, so I made like $9 on that for such a quick sale. Happy with that. This is such a fun fall piece. This is a blouse from Pilcrow, which is Anthropology. This is one of their newer tags. If it'll focus. So I found this at the bins in May, and I am not shocked that it is just selling now. They paid $23 for this, which I think was an offer that was sent out by my Posher VA, which is a virtual assistant that I use to send offers. I send out 25% off offers 10 minutes after someone likes them. I find 25% to be a good price that is at least motivating enough for someone to buy it. I know for me, if someone sends me a 10% off offer, it doesn't move the needle for me. And I do factor that into my pricing, that majority of my sales are offers, so I do definitely price with that in mind. So after fees, I get $18.40 for this. Found it at the bin, so it probably cost me about $1, so I get $17.40 for that one. And that is heading to New York. These were not a great buy. The sales price was okay, but I definitely paid up too much for these. So these are from the brand Driftwood, which can be sold at places like Free People or Anthropologie or Sundance. These are a pair of jeans that are kind of cool style, but they're joggers, which definitely I think limits them a bit. So if they were just like this design but straight leg, they probably would have done better. So this was an offer that was sent out with my Posher VA for $30. I make $24 after the fees, but I paid $12 for these, so I do just double my money on them. But when I'm paying $12 for something, I'm not really hoping to just make $12 back. I probably should have done a little more comp research on these, but I'm glad to still double my money. And with Driftwood, I really try to look for very trendy styles or things that are embroidered, which isn't really what these were. So I'm not sure if I picked those up at Plato's or my local thrift store, but these are also heading to somewhere in New York. Then this is another Lily piece that was mine. This is a bathing suit, so I have the matching top and bottom, and this is in the print Aphrodisiac. I want to say this is probably like 5 years old at this point. This sold for $45, which I would say is a pretty fair price for Lily swim that is used. So I get $36 after fees, and I wore that bathing suit quite a few times, so I got use out of it. And that is heading to South Carolina. I think that's by Charleston. Then this was only listed for about 3 days as well. This is a baby jumpsuit from Zara. It's this really pretty watercolor design. It's age 18 to 24 months, and this sold for $20 and I make $16. I put that after the bins cost, I get $15, but it's probably more. Yeah, it only weighs 4 ounces, so I really actually get about $16 or $15.50 for that. My bins are $2 a pound, so with that weighing 4 ounces, it costs me about 50 cents. So that is a great profit, in my opinion, for kids' clothes. And if you are a bin shopper, I say this all the time, consider picking up trendy, good brand kids' clothes. They sell, they cost so little at the bins, and you're already there shopping. You are missing out on some easy money. These are heading to Maryland. These have been around for a pretty long time. At my regular Goodwill store one day, I found about 20 pieces of New With Tags Talbots around like the 14, 16, extra large, 1X size, but a lot of them were those sizes and petite, which is what these are. These were a 16 petite. They're folded nicely, so I'm gonna leave them. But New With Tags Talbots jeggings in this burgundy color. So I have sold a ton of that already. I kept a couple of the sweaters for myself too. So that was a really great find, especially because of the sizes that they were. And a lot of it did really well. These only sold for $17. I paid $6, so after all the fees and everything, I make about $7.60 for them. So still doubled my money, but in the scheme of everything from that haul, I definitely made some really good money on stuff. And then these are heading to Virginia. Next up is some eBay sales. I think that's all the Poshmark stuff. Well, this is a shacket from Babaton, which is Aritzia, and this is like a faux leather. So I thought that this would do quite well. They have a really nice faux leather from Aritzia. It is so expensive, but it is really soft. It's definitely the highest quality, or like highest quality feeling faux leather I come across. So this sold for $28. After eBay fees, I get $22.43, and I found this at the bins, so I get about $20 for this. It's a couple weeks for it to sell. This is heading to Los Angeles. Again, California. Are you seeing the pattern here? These sold overnight, which is always fun to wake up to a sale. And these are from the brand L'Agence, I think is how you pronounce it. You'll see the picture of them here. I'm gonna leave them nice and folded. These are the Scotty style. I found these at Plato's for $15. They sold on eBay for $88. I think I had them listed for $125. And I had sent out some offers on eBay and they accepted. So after fees and everything, I'm getting $60.45 on these, which is great. That brand usually does not do very well for me, but at Plato's one day I found 3 super trendy styles. This is the first of them to sell, but happy with that price. And this is actually an international sale. So on here it shows it's going to Illinois, which is eBay's like international shipping warehouse. So I just had to send it to Illinois, and then they take care of sending it to wherever it's going. This one is going to Canada, so not too far, but I have shipped to Australia, Italy, different places in Europe, England, Canada, I don't even know where else. At least twice to Australia. So yeah, it's a great program. If you don't have it turned on eBay, you really should, because you're just shipping it to Illinois. I don't have to do anything different. I don't get a ton of sales from it, but it definitely is nice every once in a while when you do, and they can't really return it. So it's pretty much a guaranteed sale once you ship it off. Then we have a pair of dance studio pants. I paid too much for these. The comps did show that they still were worth the money, but they just have sat for probably 3 months. And I got an offer for $45 for these, which normally I would be really happy about, but I was crazy and paid $20 for them. So my profit is only $17.71 on these. I thought they were gonna sell on Depop. Actually, they had quite a lot of likes, and I got a few offers on there, but offers on Depop are so hit or miss. I don't understand why they do it that way. They don't have to pay once you accept their offer. I don't know why you send an offer and it's accepted and then you don't buy it. It's so strange to me. But anyway, these are heading to California. Then we have a dress from Boden here. And I have slowed down on picking up Boden, particularly these older tags. The new ones don't have this circle, and it's just like a block font that says Boden. But this one was really cute still. It had the matching belt, which we know is always a bonus when you do find the belt at the thrift store. This is a 2 petite, which is definitely small, but I thought this would be a really nice fall dress. It's like a midi length shirt dress. This sold for $25. I have written down that I made $27.32 after eBay fees. So I must have been a little inaccurate in what I charged for shipping on this one. I do eBay calculated shipping. So I must have had the weight wrong on this. I don't remember. But I paid $3 for this. So after everything, I'm making $24.32 on this piece, and it's heading to Georgia. Then these have been around for so long. Glad to see them go. They are American Eagle, new with tags, but they are a skinny jean in a size 0. Don't know why I picked these up. Probably just at that time. These have had to have been around for 3 years at least. I must have just been happy to see new with tags. Maybe even longer. They could be approaching 5 years of having them. So these sold for $12, which I gladly accepted that offer. I make $9.29 after fees. I paid $3 for them, which isn't bad. They're probably like half off day at Goodwill. So I make $6.29 on these after everything. They're heading to Philly. And this is a really cute dress from Zara Kids. Again, found this at the bins. You know, no one is picking up kids stuff. It's like a midi length. It is a slightly bigger size. I think it's a girl's 13, 14. This sold for $14 after eBay fees. I made $9.93 and my profit's about $8 on this. I kind of thought it would go for a little more, but I don't know if I accepted that offer, if I sent out that offer. I did have a sale running on eBay for a few days, so could have been a combo of an offer and the sale or something, but happy with $8 on a kid's dress, and that is heading to Washington. Then we have our Depop sale, and this is a pair of men's Lululemon pants. I think these are the Commissioner, whatever the style name is, but found these at the bins. They do have a little bit of wear on them. I think like by one of the back pockets, it's like a little, like faded, worn spot along the seam. So I did take a slightly lower price for these because that's usually a very good style. I sold them for $28, which was an offer, and the person did actually pay. And then what I get after fees is $24.07, and I said I made $22 on these because they came from the bins. Those are heading to Virginia. And then this is the last sale. So this I found at the bins. This is from Urban Outfitters. This is the Urban Outfitters home tag. The material tag is cut off, which obviously they could see in the pictures. But how fun is this? I do need a different packaging to put this in because it's not going to fit in my standard poly mailer, but this sold for $13. I paid probably about $2 for this at the bins. So my profit from Mercari after all the fees and everything and the cost of goods is $8.91 for that. So that is everything. My how much I got before all the fees and the cost of goods and everything was $550, and then after the platform fees and my cost of goods, I am profiting $367.35 on all of that, which I think is pretty decent for just from Saturday afternoon to Monday morning. And I hope your sales are going well too. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.